I'm very happy to be talking to Malcolm Johnson, Director of ITU Telecommunications Standardization Bureau. Now, Malcolm, many people, including myself, might not be entirely sure what standards are. We're all familiar with the incredible frustration, and to take an example from history, of buying a video and realizing that certain cassettes don't work in the machine. But how does it work in the field of telecommunications?
Well, you know, ITU is a very old organization. It goes back to 1865. And when it was formed, it was really to develop standards to ensure that the new telex system that was starting at that time provided for international communications. So ITU was formed to ensure interoperability of international telecommunications, and that's one of our main remits right through to today. More important than ever, probably, because through globalization, you need global standards, benefits of having a service available in this country that you can use when you travel to a different country, compatibility of equipment, benefits of economies of scale from equipment being built to the same standard around the world, and also increased competition and reduced costs to consumers. So global standards are increasingly important.
We're hearing a lot about next generation networks. Now, what exactly are they? Is this a new form of infrastructure, or are we talking about how the information is traveling around existing networks?
Well, next generation networks we're talking about convergence of various types of services that we've been used to for many years: broadcasting, telephone, internet, mobile, fixed services, all coming together into one, which is NGN. We've been working on standards for NGN for 5 or 6 years. They're in place. NGN is being rolled out now. And it's going to have substantial benefits through, again, economies of scale, using internet technologies to benefit from the lower costs, and they will substantially decrease costs to operators and then consequently consumers, because NGN separates the service provision from the transport provision. Transport could be fiber, could be cable, could be copper, could be wireless, but that will be separated from the service provision, so you can have different service providers coming in offering new types of services on the building blocks of the NGN. And they'll be able to do that quite cheaply because they won't have to build additional network infrastructure. So it's going to open up a lot of possibilities for new applications.
Okay, now you also deal with you're also dealing with ICTs and climate change. Now, ICTs are well known. 2.2 to 2.5% of greenhouse gases come from ICTs, but they also contribute to reducing levels of greenhouse gases. Can you talk us through what work you're doing in that?
So we have a checklist now for when we start work on any new standard. We have an environmental checklist to make sure that the energy consumption, at least, and other issues is addressed right at the start of work on a new standard. There is
a large constituency of people who don't necessarily have access to ICTs, but that, and it's nothing to do with networks, it's more because of their own disabilities. Now, what work are you doing in that area?
We had a World Telecom Standards Assembly in Johannesburg last October, and we had a side event on accessibility, and we had a very nice gentleman from Italy flew down to Johannesburg to demonstrate what ICTs has done for him. He came up onto the stage in his wheelchair. He was totally paralyzed from the neck down, and he had a laptop in front of him, which he was able to fully utilize through head movements. And live in front of 800 people, he set up a link with his daughter back in Italy, started conversing with her, webcam, sending her emails back and forth. And he said to me, it's totally changed his life. He was depressed before, and now he's enjoying life. It's just a really good illustration of what ICTs can do for disabled people.